Well, so as we think about who else is out there and whether they're looking for us, uh, you know, other planets and stuff, this brings up the issue of the Fermi paradox, Fermi paradox. You can look it up. And so the question, I guess, the basic question is, where is everybody? Now we've got this enormous universe with many uh, planets that we know of, and we're finding more and more of them that could potentially be suitable for life as we know it, called exoplanets, right? And we know that the universe is so infinitely huge, not infinite, but it's massive. And so there is life out there. It just makes sense. Doesn't make sense we're the only one with life. But why can't we sense any of it? Well, if you read about the Fermi paradox, there's a lot of theories on that. One is it's just really big, and that we can't sense things very well. Uh, it, my take on it is this. Um, because like if on a nearby star and the planets around it there was life and it was doing what we're doing, broadcasting and listening, then we would be in contact now. So we can be pretty sure there's nobody around locally unless they don't want to talk to us, but they would have a hard time even hiding themselves if they were advanced enough to have radio technology, etc. Now, there's probably lots of planets with life that we would not consider intelligent and that doesn't extract additional resources from other places. In other words, they live the way they're evolved to live. We would never notice them. You look at that little island, Senegal Island or whatever, there's people that throw spears at helicopters. They don't want to be contacted. Totally possible there's forms of life that don't have enough technology for that. But let's assume that beings like us in a technological sense have existed. Uh, they might not exist for very long, and that's my hypothesis. Human civilization at that level has only existed for an extremely short time. I mean, before 1800, certainly nobody would have been able to notice us. So we've got this tiny window of time that we've actually been available to be contacted or trying to contact anyone. Now I have a rather grim theory, and if you look up Fermi paradox in Wikipedia, you will find this under the hypothetical explanations for the paradox, and that is the one I agree with is 4.3. No, that's not it. 4.5. It is the nature of intelligent life to destroy itself. That is what I believe. I believe that once a society of intelligent beings advances to the level where they're able to expand beyond their evolutionary role in the environment that we're in and start to adjust the environment by extracting resources, building technology to modify their environment, that they will inevitably, because they were designed to thrive and grow, were evolved to expand, they will inevitably contaminate and destroy their own environment. They can't stop themselves. This is certainly the case for humans. We're a great example. We cannot stop ourselves. It doesn't matter if we understand that we're destroying the planet and we will kill ourselves. We are suicidal, not by choice, but because we are driven to be. And there is no one in society currently working to stop us from destroying the entire planet. I've got my tiny efforts that are totally relevant, but every single powerful person in the world, every person with access to this technology is just going to consume as much as they can and extract as much resources and contaminate as much as possible. And that's true for people on the left and right, the people who claim that they care, and their solutions are to just continue the problem in a different way. So everybody's destroying the fucking planet. That's what's going on. And so my theory is that any intelligent uh, species that exists in the universe will do the same thing almost kind of by definition. I don't even know how they would avoid it. Now, I, of course, would, like to think up some optimistic visions of how we could avoid that trap. But it's just silly optimism. I mean, if you look at all the forces in the world and where we're headed in such a short time, I use kind of 1800 as an example of where we really started having the power to destroy the planet and started doing it. but it just increases every year. Every year that goes by, we destroy more and more. And so if this is the case, then these beings on these other planets, it could be that when they do get intelligent, they grow really quickly and then they die off really quickly because we're looking at very big spaces and very big time scales. And so even if life has existed tens of thousands of times, even in our somewhat near neighborhood, we just might not coincide with when they existed. And there's no evidence that they ever did exist. That is what I'm currently thinking is true. And I am very actively involved in trying to get out of that pattern. And if you want to check out my work, it's Bosque Village is an example of how I think we could live in a different way that would not bring about that result. And I'm also working on sets of philosophies with some other people on how we could change the worldwide culture so that we don't go down this path. Because of course, some dude in a forest being off grid and thinking up better composting toilets doesn't really mean anything on a worldwide scale. We have to have a worldwide scale solution. Governments can't provide it. Religions haven't, although we need almost a religious or consciousness awakening, or we're dead, and we're probably dead anyway. It's all probably pointless. So, God, I wish I had another cup of coffee. Anyway, that's my thoughts on the Fermi paradox and why we don't find anyone else out there. Why is no one else out there?